Okay, so we are here post week 13, and just like I talked about after week 11, I'm going to be doing these every other week. Really, it's going to be week 11, 13, 15, and then after week 15, from there on out, 16, 17, 18, I'm going to be doing one weekly for the end of the year, kind of wrapping stuff up as teams get eliminated. And we have two teams that are officially eliminated. And then, teams moving up the board, like Seattle moved into the playoffs after Washington and the Giants tied. So, things are changing here. And again, we're week 13, or we're heading into week 14, I should say. So, not, there might not be too much going on, week 14 here, but there are, some cases where, like, the Vikings can lock up the division and whatnot. With a win against the Lions, and there's some stuff like that. But again, it's kind of early for me. There's still, like, look at all these teams down here. There's only 2 teams eliminated, so I don't want to do one every single week from here on out. So that's why I want to wait till week 15 to start, doing it weekly. I guess we'll start at the top because the big thing that happened is that the Chiefs got knocked out of first place, and the Bills came up from fourth. And rose up to first place. Obviously, they have the head-to-head tie against the Chiefs. They now have the best, or I guess I should say tied for the best record in the AFC, with the Ravens still clinging on. They're only a half game ahead of the Bengals right now. They played, is it 15, 16? I forget what week it is. They're going to play each other again, is the point. They're going to play each other again. I know they have the they have the Steelers, and then they play the Browns this week. So, if the Ravens lose and the Bengals win, Bengals are going to be taking over the division title. Or I guess the top of the division. And they hold, all the keys and whatnot to success for winning their division. Which, again, it's going to be kind of hard. For the Bengals, it might be a little easier than the Ravens because the Ravens, again, are kind of having a bumpy road right now. You have Lamar Jackson out injured right now. As far as I've seen, he is not supposed to be playing this week against the Steelers. We'll see in the future. But again, you lose against the Steelers, anything can happen. You don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future. Anything can happen. Yeah, again, that's the big change is Bills move from 4 to 1. Bengals are now in the fifth spot here. Dolphins move all the way down to 6th. So they went from number 2 to number 6 in a week. That is how congested and how crazy the AFC is. Whereas, look at the NFC here. Stayed. And then obviously, again, Seattle moved up into 7th here. You have people moving down 4 spots, people moving up 4 spots and whatnot after one loss. So, again, it's going to be interesting. The last week, or the last couple of weeks, 16, 17, 18, are going to be really interesting to see how the AFC is. And it's going to be so, so congested, and things are going to be so, intense and whatnot, that you might be like a 6 seed or a 7 seed, but you can contend with the guys up top. So you can contend with the Bills, with the Chiefs. The Jets already beat them. So they beat the Bills one time. They do play them again this week. So that'll be interesting to see if they can sweep them or not. But again, the Jets are 7-5, but they are they're contending with the Bills. They're contending with the Chiefs. They're contending with the Ravens or the Bengals and whatnot. Again, Titans are kind of just there because, Texans are gone. Jacksonville's probably 2 weeks away from being eliminated. Colts are maybe 3 because of that tie. So that'll kind of help them out a little bit, let them stay an extra week. But, yeah. It's the South doesn't really have competition. I believe the Titans even swept the Colts. So the main competition means that they, sweeping them means you just automatically get the number 4 seed at least, and you're probably gonna stick at 4. Again, unless It would have to be like the AFC North because I don't think the Chiefs are gonna slip up a lot. I don't know if the Bills are gonna. Well, they might. It's gonna be really interesting. Really interesting to see how the AFC shakes up. So we'll look at on the bubble here. So Patriots at 8 at 6-6, Chargers at 9 at 6-6. I said this. Well, I've said this last week. I said this 2 weeks ago. I've talked about this. The Chargers to me just they don't scare me. They don't strike me as a team that's gonna make the playoffs. Yes, they're 500 right now, but they don't look good. Crazy. Like, they just don't jump off the page to me as, oh, yeah, they're going to make a late game rush here, start winning a bunch of games, and, make it into the playoffs. They don't feel like that. Oh, my God. Sorry, this is like my 6th video today. They don't feel like that to me, so I don't know. Like, they're on the bubble here at 6-6, but like the Patriots I think have an okay chance to make it, but I don't know. Raiders are on a 3-week, 4-week win streak right now, so they can do anything. Browns just got Deshaun Watson, so they we'll see how that goes. Steelers just beat the Falcons, so again technically you're still in contention. And then again, these 3 teams are probably not. Probably not. Broncos might get eliminated next week, so we'll see. As for the NFC, we'll just start down here. Rams, I have a feeling, will be like a top 5. Maybe they get eliminated next week alongside the Broncos if they both lose. They face the Raiders. That's right. Thursday night they face the Raiders. So as early as 2 days from now, I'm recording this on Tuesday. You might not see this till Thursday. We'll see. As early as 2 days from now, time of recording this, the Raiders could eliminate the Rams from playoff contention. They could. So maybe I'm going to put this up on Friday, and maybe you're, watching this on Friday, and I'm talking about this, and, you might know. We'll see if I put it up Thursday or Friday. I know it's going to go up kind of later in the week, because I have a lot of videos going up this week. Saints, probably, they're probably done. Panthers are probably, done. Cardinals probably done. Falcons are probably done. Packers probably done. I mean, maybe the Lions. Well, I mean, you're still 2 whole games behind. Like, Washington, well, you're 2 games behind the 7 seed. So, like, I don't know, man. It's going to be hard. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been recording a whole bunch of videos today. Been working on a bunch of schoolwork and whatnot too. Oh my God, I'm gonna go sit down. There's probably some soccer on. I'll probably turn that on a little bit. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be really hard to kind of sneak in if you're like the Lions, who I think probably have the best chance. Packers have like a 5% chance or a 4% chance, so I don't think they're making it. It just depends. Can they win out? You have to win out, and then you need some of these teams to lose probably like 2 or 3 games. So there's 5 games left for a lot of people. Obviously, there's a couple teams on a bye heading into week 14. So you're gonna need a lot, like 2 or 3 losses, and you're gonna have to win out if you're like the Lions to make it. I don't know if they're gonna. Probably not. Yeah, and if you're Seattle, you just have to win out. You pretty much just have to win out because that's your only way to get in as the 7th seed right now. Giants are kind of clinging to it. Obviously, that tie really helped them. Stay at number 6. They're not catching the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys swept them, so they're not catching the Cowboys unless the Cowboys have a catastrophic implosion. That's what has to happen to them. But they're still chasing the Eagles, who are 2 games ahead of them, and they still have to face the Eagles one time. Giants still have to face the Eagles. Washington still has to face the Eagles again. Washington is 1-0 against the Eagles right now. So the NFC East, I talked about this in Week 11. They might not wrap up until Week 18. They literally might not. Because I think the Eagles could lose to the Cowboys. I think they could either lose to the Giants or the Commanders. So that's 2 more losses. So 2 of 5 losses right there. And then I don't know who else they play, but maybe you throw another loss in there, see what happens. I think the Cowboys could still sweep in and take the number one, or not number one, but oh my God, take the top spot in the division. It might be really late in the year, so it just depends. That game against the Cowboys and Eagles game is going to be detrimental to both teams. Both teams are going to want to win that. But if you're the Eagles going in that game and you haven't lost yet and you lose to them, you're still going to be a game ahead of them. So I guess it technically is a half a game, because if you tie with the same record, they're probably... Well, no, because you face... I forget how that is for division rivals, because if you split with them, they probably focus more on the end of the year win or loss than the... Yeah. They probably focus more on the end of the year win or loss. So maybe the Eagles, if they tie records with the Cowboys, maybe Cowboys might take it because of that end of the year win. So we'll see. Outside of that, Bucks are 6-6. They pretty much have that division locked up. Just beat they just swept the Saints. I think they have the Falcons soon, and then you have the Panthers, which should be 2 easy wins. So you should just be able to lock up the 4th seed with ease. You're gonna have a home game against probably the Cowboys. Cowboys or Eagles, probably. And you did beat the Cowboys in week 1, but that was week 1, so we'll see. Niners are holding a game. It's technically a game and a half because they already beat them once. They still have to play them again, but it's technically a game and a half lead over the Seahawks. Again, 8-4 to 7-5. But again, they beat them once. But if Seattle beats them again, I should look into that. I really should look into that. Do they here? There's tiebreaker thing right here. Just real quick, is there? No. See, it's because when you face them twice, you face rivals twice a year. It doesn't always apply to this. So let's just... I guess it kind of just goes down the list, is I guess what it kind of does. Because, like, if you're head-to-head, you're 1-1 against them, you have the same record, then you go here, then you go here. So, again, within the division, what's your, record against the division? What's your record in, I guess this is supposed to be non-division games? What's your record in the whole conference? So, for this instance, for the NFC East, it would be NFC strength of victories. So, how many points did you win by? Strength of schedule, which probably the Cowboys have a harder strength than the Eagles, probably. So, if that came down to it, again, you have to get through all 5 of these, though. So, if you get through all 5 of these, it'd probably be the Cowboys. Let's see if you have, same strength or whatever. Oh, yeah, points scored, points allowed, differential, yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into it. Again, it's not exactly the same with with divisions. Like I think there's more to it with division rivals. I think, especially if you go 1-1. But yeah, and then I guess you can kind of say that's also with Niners and Seahawks. So even if the Seahawks tie with the same record, they still they probably are going to get swept, so they probably wouldn't affect the Niners too much. So, probably pretty easy for the Niners to win. But if Seattle is able to beat them, because where'd they play? They were in San Francisco, I think, for the first game, so I think they have to go to Seattle's home, which Lumen Field. That name still sticks in my mind. That's such a dumb name. So, and then Vikings are just... they're you pretty much have the division locked out. Like there's really no fight from the Packers or the Lions right now. So there's you can clinch it again with the win. If you don't win, then the Lions just get one step closer, but you're probably gonna clinch it anyway. So yeah. So basically nothing changed on the NFC side except for Washington's out, Seattle's in. here on the AFC side, Bills are the 1 seed, getting the lead in the AFC East, knocking the Dolphins all the way down to 6. Bengals up to 5, tied a record with the Ravens here. So, again, they still have to play each other, so we could still see the Bengals win the division. If the Ravens lose against the Steelers this coming weekend, Bengals probably should be. I forget who they play. Oh, that's right, the Cleveland. That's right, Cleveland. I already talked about that. So I guess technically you could have both teams lose, and then it's just like, okay, well, we're gonna have a winner eventually. Jets again, hardest division here, so they're sitting still right now at the 7th seed, and then we have two eliminated teams so far. So by the time we get to this, me doing it for week 15 in 2 weeks, I'm sure we're going to have like 10 teams eliminated. I'm sure my Packers are going to be eliminated by, end of week 15. We'll see. Obviously, again, you need a lot of help for that. So we'll talk about that in week 15. Now we'll see he's eliminated. We'll see who on the bubble has got in, if Washington can get back in. And we'll see, who's been pushed down the ladder, who's been pushed out onto the bubble as a whole in week 15. So, we'll see you there in 2 weeks. For now, like the video, share the video around. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.